Hi, namaste. Marcus here again, and something I really wanted to talk about that is coming up a lot for me. If it's coming up for me, there's a good chance it's coming up for other people. So that's usually a good indication for me when I do these talks. If I get a hint about what to do, I see that as guidance. And it's so important that we understand about gratitude and being thankful. And I've just run a workshop in the Equinox, and one of the big things I talk about in all the things I do is being grateful. You know, when we live in the West, how can we not be grateful? Because, you know, we have everything we need. Anyway, I'll tell you what this is all about, because a couple of weeks ago, the bread bin, my old bread bin, needed replacing. And it's a very spiritual thing, this. We only talk about spiritual things. Because what people forget often is everything we do in life is spiritual. We are a spiritual being. So all the things associated with our life are spiritual. Some people think that it's only if you meditate and get into a state of higher consciousness and do things like that that you're being spiritual. Well, that's not the case. Our whole life, whether you're aware of it or not, doesn't matter. Your whole life is spiritual. And we have to understand this and also put it into practice. Me included. That's why I'm making this. Me included. Because I ordered this bread bin. It wasn't easy to find one as good as the one I had, but the one I had was really old and tatty and needed, you can't put bread in a tatty bread bin. So finally found one. It was probably the most expensive one I saw, but it looked great. It arrived, and actually it wasn't supposed to come for over a week because of this lockdown stuff, and it arrived within 3 days. It was there. Fabulous. Opened the box. It's not quite as big as I wanted, but nice wood. And then I looked at the front, because it's a roll top bread bin, and I thought, oh, that's not made very well. Look at it. That's sticking out there. That piece of wood shouldn't be sticking out like that. And immediately I found fault and started moaning. I think I'm only happy when I'm moaning sometimes. And for someone that likes to spread the word about being grateful, moaning just doesn't fit in the agenda at all. Because what have we got to moan about if we wake up breathing? That's what I tell people. And here I am. I've got a lovely bread bin. It's really nice, beautiful bamboo, so it's saving the forests. And I'm moaning about it. And alright, we're only talking about a bread bin at the moment. But this is the same for everything in our lives. I'm using that as a way to explain it. But the fact is, there's always something we like to moan about. I'm one of these people that spent my life as an engineer. And I'm very good at finding faults. I'm actually very, very good at giving credit as well. But I do find faults. And in my day-to-day life, I'm so grateful for everything. Thank the Lord and the angels and beings of light and love who watch over us. I'm extremely grateful. And then I go and moan. And not only did I moan about the bread bin, but I sent them feedback, and I gave them 4 stars, which wasn't too bad. But I moaned about the fact that it wasn't perfect. And I'm the first one to say, only God is perfect. And yet, I'm moaning and moaning. And you can look at lots of things in your life and realise, how much we moan. And moaning is basically being ungrateful. We're gifted with things. We're gifted with opportunities. We're gifted with finding people to be with. We're gifted with finding space to be in. Sometimes we need space. We're looked after so well as human beings on this planet, generally. most of us. And yet, we still find things to moan about. So I have to look into this in great detail and try and find out, am I unhappy? No, I'm not unhappy. I love the bread bin. I love my life. I love my family. I love where I live. I love the people around me. I love everybody. But there's something in me that still likes to moan. And it's obviously something from the way I was brought up, how I was brought up, or not being content or something. I still can't put my finger on it, to be honest. But it's not right. I'm going to change it now. I said to my wife, I said, that's it. I'm not moaning about anything else. I'm going to tell other people. We shouldn't be moaning. There's so much good going on. I know we're in this very difficult situation at times because of the lockdown and the virus and stuff like this, and our lives being turned upside down. Personally, I believe that in the end it's going to make us a better world, and it's going to make us better people, because we're going to realise about our lives. We're going to realise that we shouldn't be moaning. We should be getting on with stuff that makes us happy. And when we are happy, why should we moan about anything? We shouldn't. Because we're in that space, that lovely space. So it's just a thought, and I like to put my thoughts out. So have a think about this. Is this you? Is this you? So if it is, maybe have a think about what you should do about it. And catch yourself like I've done. As soon as you find yourself moaning, catch yourself and say, what have I got to moan about? You might be able to write a list then, but then look at each item on the list and say, is this really that much of a problem? I mean, this is really good. My life's really good. I've got lots of opportunities. Should I be moaning about this? Should this be a problem for me? That's what we have to do. We have to dissect everything. Because apparently, well, it's Wednesday today, on Friday, on the 5th of June, there's a full moon. And this full moon that's coming apparently is going to really cause people to look at a lot of stuff that they've not got rid of yet, they've not disposed of, the old dross that is still stuck. There's a lot of that going on, and it's still stuck there because we haven't got rid of it, and that could really come up apparently this weekend, according to someone I was listening to, and I believe that is the case. And if that is the case, then more and more of this stuff is going to come up for us all, in which case we need to have a look at it, address it, and just decide what we want to do for the rest of our lives. Do we want to be a moaning Minnie like that Marcus fella, or do we want to be a happy, joyful person who's got nothing to moan about and only things to be grateful for? No matter how small they are, no matter how difficult those things are to live with, we should always be grateful. Because at the end of the day, and I'm the first one to say this, we are who we are because of the opportunities that have been put in front of us that make us who we are today. So there's nothing to moan about, only things to be grateful for. And at the time it might not always seem like that, because some of the things we go through in life are not what we would think of as pleasant or nice even. They're quite heavy and sometimes quite painful. But afterwards, on reflection, we can see we are who we are because of it. And usually that is the best person we can be. So keep all that in mind. I think that's all for today. I've said enough. No more moaning for me. I'll try anyway. Namaste. See you next time.